What if I told you that your mind doesn't have to fade with time? What if those moments of forgetfulness, the misplaced keys, the lost words, the names slipping just out of reach, weren't just inevitable signs of aging, but something you could change? What if you had the power to keep your mind as sharp, clear, and vibrant as ever? The truth is, memory loss is not a destiny, it's a habit. And just like any habit, it can be strengthened, nurtured, and even reversed. The secret, timeless wisdom. Ancient Buddhist teachings and modern neuroscience have revealed that the key to a sharp mind lies in the daily practices we cultivate. Today we'll take you on a powerful journey through the story of Linda Miller, a woman who, like many of us, felt the creeping signs of cognitive decline. But instead of resigning herself to forgetfulness, she chose another path, a path paved with mindfulness, movement, nutrition, and gratitude. Through 6 transformative habits, she reclaimed her clarity, her joy, and her connection to life. And here's the best part, you can too. Stay with me until the end, because we'll uncover 6 profound yet simple habits that can rewire your brain, awaken your mind, and bring back the sharpness and focus you thought were slipping away. From grounding yourself in nature to harnessing the power of music, mindful eating, movement, cognitive challenges, and gratitude, these aren't just tricks, they're lifelong tools for clarity and vitality. So if you're ready to take back control of your mind and unlock a sharper, more present, more vibrant you, hit that like button, subscribe to Quiet Wisdom, and let's begin. Story: Linda's wake-up call. Linda Miller had always been a sharp, independent woman. She handled her finances, remembered every birthday, and even enjoyed solving crossword puzzles over morning coffee. Forgetting things here and there was never a concern until one day it started subtly. She would forget where she placed her keys or struggle to recall why she walked into the kitchen. At first, she brushed it off. Who doesn't forget things once in a while? But soon, these moments became more frequent, more intrusive. She found herself pausing mid-sentence, the words slipping away just as she was about to say them. The frustration was manageable at first, an inconvenience more than a crisis. But then came the day that changed everything. One crisp autumn afternoon, Linda set out for the grocery store. It was a routine errand, one she had done hundreds, maybe thousands of times before. She walked through the automatic doors, greeted by the familiar scent of freshly baked bread and the cool blast of air conditioning. She reached for a shopping cart, just as she always did. But as she pushed it forward, something strange happened. She stopped. Her heart pounded. Her breath caught in her throat. She looked around, scanning the towering shelves, the bright fluorescent lights, the faces of strangers passing by. And in that moment, a chilling realization set in. She had no idea why she was there. Her mind raced, desperately trying to retrace her steps. Milk? Eggs? Bread? What had she come for? The panic rose in her chest like a tidal wave. She gripped the handle of the cart, her knuckles turning white. The more she tried to remember, the foggier her mind became. She turned down an aisle, hoping something, anything, would jog her memory. But nothing did. Minutes passed, or maybe it was seconds. It all felt like an eternity. She could feel the sting of tears forming behind her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Not here, not now, she whispered under her breath. Taking a shaky breath, she abandoned her cart and hurried out of the store, fumbling for her car keys with trembling hands. By the time she sat behind the wheel, she felt drained, as if she had run a marathon she hadn't trained for. That night, Linda sat in her armchair, staring out the window, the echoes of the day replaying in her mind. She thought of all the little lapses that had been building up, the misplaced glasses, the forgotten names, the moments of blankness. This wasn't just a bad day. It wasn't just stress. Something was happening, something she couldn't ignore any longer. Fear crept into the edges of her thoughts. What if this was just the beginning? What if it got worse? What if one day she forgot something? Someone truly important. The thought sent a shiver down her spine, but amid the fear, a quiet resolve took root. Linda had two choices. She could let this uncertainty consume her, or she could fight back. She could retreat into fear, or she could take control. And as she sat there, the warm glow of the lamp casting long shadows across the room, she made her decision. She wouldn't let her mind slip away without a fight. And so, her journey began. A journey rooted in both the cutting-edge science of cognitive health and the timeless wisdom of the Buddha. A journey to reclaim her mind, her independence, and her life. Habit 1. Grounding. Walking barefoot on the earth. One of the first changes Linda made was something incredibly simple yet profoundly powerful. She began walking barefoot on the earth. In Buddhist teachings, this practice is known as earthing or grounding, a way of reconnecting with the natural world, bringing awareness to the present moment, and calming the restless mind. At first it felt strange. The damp grass tickled her feet, and the uneven ground made her hesitant. The coolness of the soil sent shivers up her spine, and she found herself wincing at the sharp edges of scattered pebbles. It was an unfamiliar sensation, almost primitive, as if she were stepping into a forgotten world, one where humans and nature moved in rhythm, where silence spoke louder than words. Yet, something told her to persist. Each morning, just as the first golden fingers of sunlight stretched across the horizon, she stepped outside. She took slow, deliberate steps, allowing the earth to meet her bare skin without resistance. At first, the discomfort was undeniable. Her soles, accustomed to years of shoes and pavement, were overly sensitive. But soon that discomfort transformed into an intimate awareness, a dialogue between her body and the world beneath her. The textures of the earth, the softness of the morning dew, the warmth of sun-kissed soil, it all became part of her meditation. It wasn't long before she noticed a shift. Her anxiety, which had once gripped her like a shadow, seemed to loosen its hold. The endless stream of restless thoughts that used to flood her mind began to quiet. She found herself noticing the world with a newfound clarity, the way the leaves rustled in the gentle morning breeze, the way the skies slowly unfurled from deep indigo to soft pastel, the way birds welcomed the day with an unhurried song. For the first time in years, Linda felt present. Modern science supports this ancient practice. Studies have shown that grounding reduces inflammation, improves circulation, and lowers oxidative stress, all crucial factors for brain health. When we connect directly with the earth, negative electrons from the ground flow into our bodies, neutralizing free radicals that contribute to aging and cognitive decline. This practice has been linked to reduced cortisol levels, leading to less stress, better sleep, and sharper mental clarity. But beyond the science, Buddhist monks have long emphasized the importance of direct connection with the earth. The Buddha himself spent many of his years walking barefoot, feeling the pulse of nature beneath him. The earth, they believed, held wisdom, a silent teacher that reminded us of impermanence, of presence, of the interconnectedness of all things. One particularly misty morning, as Linda stood in her backyard, she felt the first rays of sunlight dance across her skin. She closed her eyes, inhaled deeply, and whispered, "I am here, I am present, I am alive." A slow smile spread across her face. There was a strange but beautiful sensation in her chest, like a door opening to something she had long forgotten. For the first time in years, her mind felt awake. And so grounding became more than a habit. It became her ritual, a moment of return to herself, to the earth, to the now. She realized that in every step, there was an opportunity to reconnect, to heal, to listen. With each footfall on the soil, she was reminded that clarity and peace had never been lost. They had simply been waiting for her to come back. Habit 2. The golden tonic, nourishing the mind through mindful eating. In Buddhism, food is not just fuel, it is medicine. You are what you eat. The Buddha taught, and modern neuroscience agrees. The foods we consume directly impact our cognitive function, memory retention, and overall mental clarity. Every bite, every sip, it all contributes to either the nourishment or the decline of our minds. For Linda, this realization came at a time when she was desperate to regain control of her fading mental sharpness. It was during a visit with a holistic doctor that she first heard about the golden tonic, a drink used for centuries in Eastern medicine to combat inflammation and enhance brain function. The doctor spoke of its powerful ability to restore balance, explaining that in both Ayurvedic and Buddhist traditions, food was not merely sustenance. It was an offering to the body, a sacred practice of mindfulness. At first, Linda was skeptical. Could a simple drink really help her mind feel clearer, more focused? But as she listened, something in her stirred. The doctor handed her a cup of the golden liquid, warm and fragrant, swirling in hues of deep amber. She took a cautious sip, feeling the gentle heat spread through her body. It was soothing, grounding, almost like a gentle embrace from within. The key ingredients were no ordinary kitchen staples. They were nature's medicine, turmeric, a golden spice revered for its potent anti-inflammatory properties, acted as a natural protector against cognitive decline. Ancient monks drank turmeric-infused tea to maintain mental sharpness during long hours of meditation. Coconut oil, rich in medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, provided an immediate steady source of energy to brain cells, supporting focus and mental endurance. Black pepper, a simple yet powerful activator, increased the bioavailability of turmeric's curcumin by 2,000%, ensuring that every sip carried its full potential. Cacao, a sacred ingredient in many cultures, stimulated blood flow to the brain, boosting alertness, creativity, and mood. Its natural compounds, theobromine and flavonoids, nourished the mind, making it an elixir of both health and pleasure. Cinnamon, with its warm, earthy essence, helped regulate blood sugar, preventing the spikes and crashes that often left Linda feeling sluggish and forgetful. Determined to give it a try, she began preparing the golden tonic each morning. She heated a small pot of plant-based milk, added a teaspoon of turmeric, a dash of cinnamon, a drizzle of coconut oil, a pinch of black pepper, and a touch of cacao. Stirring it slowly, she took a deep breath, inhaling its comforting aroma. But Linda didn't just drink the tonic. She made it a ritual, a moment of mindfulness. With each sip, she whispered an intention: "May this nourish my body and mind. May I stay sharp, aware, and at peace." At first, the effects were subtle. Her mind still felt foggy some days, and her memory lapses didn't disappear overnight. But something within her was shifting. Slowly but surely, she noticed small yet profound changes. She felt more present, more engaged in conversations. Her thoughts, once scattered and elusive, began to take shape with greater clarity. The act of preparing the tonic itself became an anchor, a reminder to slow down, to be aware, to treat her body with kindness. One afternoon, while sitting with her granddaughter Emily, Linda realized she had gone an entire week without misplacing her keys or forgetting an appointment. It was a small victory, but to Linda, It felt monumental. She smiled, taking a sip of her golden tonic, savoring the warmth that spread through her chest, not just from the drink, but from the knowledge that she was reclaiming herself. Science now confirms what Buddhist practitioners have long understood. The gut and the brain are deeply connected. The foods we consume influence not only our energy levels, but our very ability to think, focus, and remember. What Linda was experiencing was no miracle, no quick fix. It was the steady result of conscious nourishment, of choosing every day to give her mind the best possible care. Weeks turned into months, and the golden tonic remained a staple in Linda's morning routine. But it was more than just a drink. It was a commitment to herself, a symbol of resilience. Every sip was a choice to be present, a choice to heal, a choice to believe in the possibility of renewal, and slowly she did. Habit 3. Music, the soundtrack of memory. One day, Linda's doctor asked her a simple question. Have you tried listening to music from your youth? She hadn't. In fact, she couldn't remember the last time she had truly listened to music, not just as background noise, but with full presence. The thought lingered in her mind long after she left the doctor's office. Could something as simple as a song really unlock forgotten memories? It seemed almost too easy. But at this point in her journey, she was willing to try anything. That afternoon, Linda sat by the window, a cup of warm tea cradled between her hands. The golden light of the late afternoon sun stretched across the wooden floor, filling the room with a quiet, peaceful glow. With a deep breath, she reached for her old record player, long neglected but still intact, and carefully placed a vinyl record onto the turntable. She hesitated for a moment, then let the needle drop. The first few notes crackled through the speakers, and then, magic. A familiar melody drifted through the room, a song she hadn't heard in decades. It was one she used to hum absent-mindedly while getting ready for school, a tune that played on the radio during warm summer evenings when she and her friends sat on the porch, dreaming about their futures. And just like that, the years peeled away. Memories came flooding back. Moments she thought were lost forever. She closed her eyes. She was 17 again, standing in front of her childhood home, the scent of jasmine thick in the air. She could almost hear the distant laughter of her siblings playing in the backyard, the rhythmic hum of cicadas blending with the melody. The sensation was so powerful, so vivid, that for a moment she forgot about the gaps in her memory, about the struggles she had been facing. She was simply there, lost in the warmth of a time long past. Buddhist philosophy teaches that sound is a powerful tool for meditation and healing. Monks have long used mantras, chants, and rhythmic sounds to focus the mind, evoke deep memories, and cultivate inner stillness. Sound, they say, is more than just vibration. It is a bridge to the deepest parts of ourselves. Neuroscience confirms this ancient wisdom, showing that music activates memory centers in the brain, reawakening pathways that may have been dormant for years. In some cases, familiar music has even helped those with dementia reconnect with moments and emotions they thought were lost forever. From that day on, Linda made music a part of her daily routine. But it wasn't just about listening, it was about feeling. She curated a special playlist filled with songs that had once defined different chapters of her life. There was the song she danced to at her wedding, the lullaby she sang to her children when they were little, the tune that played on the radio during long road trips with her husband. Each song was a doorway leading her back to pieces of herself that had begun to slip away. Some mornings, she played soft instrumental pieces while preparing breakfast, letting the melodies guide her into the day with calm and clarity. Other times, when she needed energy, she swayed to the lively tunes of her youth, tapping her fingers against the countertop, smiling to herself as memories unfolded effortlessly in her mind. But it wasn't just about nostalgia, it was about healing. On days when her thoughts felt tangled and sluggish, when frustration crept in like an unwelcome visitor, she turned to music like a trusted friend. She found that certain rhythms could calm her nerves, while others reignited her sense of joy. Music became her sanctuary, a reminder that no matter how much time passed, the essence of who she was remained within her. One evening, as she sat in her favorite chair, her granddaughter Emily curled up beside her. They shared a pair of headphones and listened to an old classic. Emily, fascinated, asked questions about what life was like back then, what dances were popular, what fashion looked like, what Linda and friends did for fun. And in that moment, music did more than revive Linda's memory. It bridged generations, weaving the past and present into something new and beautiful. As the song faded, Linda exhaled deeply, feeling lighter, more herself than she had in years. She realized that memory wasn't just about remembering, it was about experiencing, about reconnecting with the emotions that made life meaningful. And so, her journey with music continued, not just as a soundtrack to the past, but as a melody that carried her forward, one note at a time. Habit 4. Movement. Awakening the body to awaken the mind. The Buddha once said, "To keep the body in good health is a duty, otherwise we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear." For Linda, this wisdom took on a new meaning as she struggled with a mind that often felt clouded, sluggish, as if weighed down by an unseen force. She had always assumed that slowing down was just a natural part of aging, but now she wasn't so sure. What if movement, something so simple, so primal, was the missing key? Her granddaughter Emily was the first to gently nudge her toward action. "Let's go for a little walk, Grandma," she suggested one afternoon, taking Linda's hand with a warmth that was impossible to refuse. Linda hesitated, looking down at her feet, then out at the long sidewalk stretching ahead of them. It seemed daunting. Her legs felt heavy, her energy low. The thought of even making it to the end of the driveway felt exhausting. But Emily's bright, encouraging smile convinced her to take that first step. The first few walks were not easy. Her joints ached, and every movement felt sluggish, as though she was pushing through an invisible resistance. But with each day something changed, something subtle but undeniable. She began to notice the air against her skin, the rhythmic crunch of leaves beneath her feet, the gentle warmth of the sun filtering through the trees. The more she walked, the more her body woke up, and to her surprise, so did her mind. As the days turned into weeks, Linda found herself looking forward to her daily outings. Her steps became steadier, her breathing more rhythmic, and her mind clearer. It wasn't just about physical movement anymore. It was about reclaiming a part of herself that had been slipping away. She started recognizing familiar faces in the neighborhood again, striking up small conversations with passers-by. One day, she even remembered the name of a woman she hadn't spoken to in years, a name that had once seemed lost in the fog of forgetfulness. That moment filled her with an unexpected rush of joy. Science now validates what ancient wisdom has long taught. Studies from Harvard show that movement boosts neuroplasticity, improves circulation, and delays cognitive decline. Regular physical activity encourages the growth of new neural connections, strengthening the very pathways that memory depends on. The simple act of walking, a movement so natural, so instinctive, became Linda's daily meditation, her quiet rebellion against the slow fade of time. One morning, as she and Emily strolled along their usual path, Linda paused. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. For the first time in years, she felt truly alive, not just existing, but thriving. The world around her was vibrant again, the laughter of children in the distance, the scent of freshly cut grass, the feel of her granddaughter's small hand in hers. These were the moments she feared she would lose, but now she realized she was reclaiming them one step at a time. It wasn't about walking miles or pushing her limits. It was about consistency, about honoring her body's need for movement, just as she had learned to honor her mind's need for stillness. Every step she took was a step toward clarity, a step toward presence, a step toward remembering who she was. And so, Linda continued her walks, not just as a means of staying physically active, but as a way of keeping her spirit awake. Because in each movement, she found not just strength, but herself. Habit 5. Daily challenges. Training the mind like a muscle. One afternoon, Linda's son walked into the house with a small package wrapped in brown paper. "This is for you, Mom," he said, placing it gently in her hands. She looked at him with curiosity, unwrapping the package to reveal a puzzle book filled with crosswords, logic games, and brain teasers. She hesitated. It had been a long time since she had done anything like this. Her days were often filled with routine: morning tea, a short walk, watching television, flipping through magazines. The idea of challenging her mind in a structured way felt foreign, but she saw the anticipation in her son's eyes, and something inside her stirred. Maybe this was exactly what she needed. That evening, she sat at the dining table, a warm cup of tea beside her, and flipped open the book. The first puzzle was a simple crossword, yet as she stared at the grid, the words eluded her. Frustration bubbled up. "Why is this so difficult?" she muttered under her breath. But then she took a deep breath. She had spent her life telling her children and grandchildren to be patient when learning new things. Wasn't it time she gave herself that same grace? Slowly, she started filling in a few letters, testing different words, erasing, trying again. And then, aha, a word clicked into place, and then another, and another. The frustration began to give way to something else: excitement. The next morning, she found herself reaching for the puzzle book with her morning coffee. She tackled a Sudoku, her brow furrowed in concentration, then a logic puzzle, pushing herself to think differently. What had once felt like a chore was now a source of joy. The Buddha once compared the mind to a garden. What we cultivate grows. If we let weeds of stagnation and passivity take over, they will spread. But if we plant seeds of curiosity, challenge, and growth, our minds will flourish. Linda had spent years believing that her mind, like her body, would inevitably weaken with age. But what if, like a muscle, it just needed exercise? She started to see her brain as something she could train, nurture, and strengthen, not something doomed to decline. And science backed this up. Studies have shown that regularly engaging in cognitive challenges, learning new skills, solving puzzles, reading, even playing strategic games, helps create new neural connections, improving memory and mental agility. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, meant that Linda's mind was far more resilient than she had once believed. Encouraged by her success with the puzzle book, Linda decided to expand her mental exercises. She borrowed books from the library on subjects she had never explored before: astronomy, ancient history, even philosophy. She started learning a few phrases in French, a language she had always admired but never taken the time to study. At first, the words felt clumsy on her tongue, unfamiliar and foreign. But then, as she practiced each day, repeating phrases aloud, something remarkable happened. She started recalling words faster, recognizing patterns, even dreaming about conversations in French. It was exhilarating. Her brain was waking up in ways she hadn't expected. One day, while grocery shopping, she overheard a couple speaking in French. Without thinking, she smiled and greeted them with a simple bonjour, comment ça va. The surprise in their eyes was quickly replaced with warmth as they responded, and for the first time in years, Linda felt the joy of spontaneous human connection in a language she had only just begun to learn. Linda's granddaughter, Emily, took notice of her newfound passion. "Grandma, do you want to play chess with me?" she asked one evening. Linda laughed. "I haven't played chess in years. You'll beat me in 5 moves." Emily grinned. "Maybe, but what if you win?" So they set up the board. At first, Linda fumbled, unsure of the best strategies. But game after game, she improved. She started thinking ahead, predicting Emily's moves, strategizing her own counterattacks. And one evening, after weeks of matches, she won. Emily's eyes widened. "Grandma, you actually beat me." Linda beamed, a childlike thrill coursing through her. "I guess I did." Linda's commitment to talentulas began to affect other areas of her life. Her conversations became sharper. She recalled details she had previously struggled to remember. She felt more confident navigating the world, whether it was recalling a recipe from memory or figuring out the quickest route to a new restaurant. She felt engaged, present, alive. What had started as a simple puzzle book had turned into a daily practice of growth, and she wasn't stopping anytime soon. One evening, as she closed her puzzle book and looked out the window, Linda reflected on her journey. She had once feared that her mind was slipping away, but now she saw the truth. The mind does not wither with age, it withers with neglect. And as long as she continued to challenge herself, to learn, to stay curious, she knew one thing for certain: her mind would remain as strong and vibrant as ever. Because every challenge, every puzzle, every new skill was a declaration. She was still growing, and as long as she was growing, she was truly living. Habit 6. Gratitude and faith. The final, most powerful habit. Despite all her efforts, Linda knew one thing for sure: her mindset was the key to everything. She had taken steps to nourish her body, sharpen her mind, and reconnect with the world around her. Yet, she realized that without gratitude, without faith, something was still missing. She needed something deeper, something that could anchor her, steady her through uncertainty, and remind her of the beauty in every moment. So every night, as she lay in bed, she whispered a small prayer. "Thank you for today. I am here. I am grateful." At first, it felt almost mechanical, just a routine to help her feel at peace before sleep. But something remarkable began to happen. The more she practiced gratitude, the more she noticed the small miracles woven into her daily life. One evening, as she stood by the window, gazing at the fading hues of the sunset, she felt a wave of warmth wash over her. The sky, painted in streaks of orange and pink, seemed to hold something sacred. She thought about how many sunsets she had seen, but never truly appreciated. But now, she stood there, fully present, whispering a silent thank you for the simple beauty of it all. Science confirms what many spiritual traditions have long taught: gratitude is transformative. Research has shown that practicing gratitude reduces stress, enhances cognitive function, and even strengthens memory. The brain, when trained to focus on what is good, rewires itself to be more resilient, more positive, more open to joy. Linda wasn't just experiencing a shift in attitude, she was physically reshaping her mind. As weeks passed, gratitude seeped into every corner of her life. She found herself appreciating the little things: a warm cup of tea in the morning, the laughter of her granddaughter, the way the autumn leaves danced in the wind. Instead of focusing on what she had lost, she focused on what she still had. and that changed everything. Gratitude opened the door, but faith carried her through. Linda had always considered herself a spiritual person, though she had drifted away from any formal practice over the years. But as she grew older, she felt a quiet pull back towards something greater than herself, a sense of trust that life had a rhythm, a wisdom that moved beyond her understanding. Faith was not about having all the answers. It was about embracing the unknown with an open heart. She started meditating in the mornings, not necessarily in silence but in reflection. She would close her eyes and breathe, allowing herself to feel connected to the present, to something beyond herself. Sometimes, she would recall a Buddhist teaching she had read years ago: let go or be dragged. And with every breath, she let go of fear, of doubt, of the need to control everything. One Sunday, she attended a small gathering at a local meditation center. As she sat in the circle, surrounded by others seeking peace in their own ways, she felt a quiet understanding pass between them. Faith wasn't about rules or rituals. It was about connection. Connection to herself, to others, to the present moment. Wanting to deepen her practice, Linda began keeping a gratitude journal. Each night, before saying her small prayer, she wrote down 3 things she was grateful for that day. Some days, it was something simple: the way the neighbor's dog wagged its tail when she walked by, a call from an old friend, the feeling of warm socks, fresh out of the dryer. Other days, it was something deeper: the resilience she felt when she solved a problem on her own, the patience she had with herself when she forgot something, the realization that she was still growing, still evolving, still here. By the end of the month, she flipped through the pages of her journal and marveled at how much beauty filled her life. It had always been there. She had just finally learned to see it. One morning, as Linda walked through the park, she watched a group of children playing. Their laughter rang through the crisp air, unburdened and free. She smiled, realizing that life had a way of coming full circle. She had once been that child, running barefoot, laughing without hesitation, and now she had returned to that sense of wonder, not in youth, but in gratitude. She paused under a tall oak tree, pressing her hand gently against its rough bark. How many seasons had this tree weathered? How many storms had it endured? And yet, it stood tall, unshaken, always reaching for the light. Linda took a deep breath and whispered, "Thank you." By now, gratitude and faith were no longer habits. They were woven into the very fabric of her being. She realized that in the end, life wasn't about chasing time, nor was it about fearing what lay ahead. It was about presence, about appreciating the breath in her lungs, the love in her heart, the lessons in every experience. Linda had learned something profound. Memory fades, youth fades, but gratitude, that is eternal. And so as she closed her journal that night, she smiled softly and whispered, as she always did, "Thank you for today. I am here. I am grateful." Linda's journey was not about chasing youth or resisting time. It was about embracing the power of small, intentional changes, choices that allowed her to reclaim her clarity, her joy, and her sense of self. These 6 habits, grounding, mindful eating, music, movement, mental challenges, and gratitude, did more than just sharpen her mind. They reconnected her with the beauty of the present moment. And the truth is, this transformation isn't exclusive to Linda. It's available to you too. Your mind is your most precious asset. It holds your memories, your dreams, your wisdom, and just like a garden, it thrives when nurtured. So the question is, are you ready to cultivate it? Are you ready to take back control, to strengthen your mind, and to experience life with renewed clarity? Start today. Take a step, any step. Walk barefoot on the grass. Savor your next meal with full awareness. Put on a song from your youth and let it transport you. Move your body, stretch your mind, and at the end of the day, whisper a simple thank you. And as you embark on this journey, remember, transformation happens in the small moments, in the quiet decisions you make each day. We'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits resonated with you the most? Which one will you start today? Let us know in the comments below. And if this video brought you value, support our mission by liking, sharing, and subscribing to Quiet Wisdom. Your support helps us continue to bring meaningful content that empowers you to live with presence, intention, and gratitude. Until next time, stay present, stay grateful, and keep your mind sharp.